want. Very well, thanks for dropping by. Off you go.
So it appears, according to the Sacramento Bee, which is the newspaper in Sacramento, California, that Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall are selling their Malibu home. And we've been on Cameron's Patreon because that's where he put the story. He got an update from one of his other patrons. We've been agog at this. This is an indication that something is going on. Now, do they have other houses? I assume they do. Maybe they have another one in California close by. But it's an indication something's going on. I'll give you the story about this place, and I'm going to leave a link to the story in the description box. Let's see, I do not want to buy the Sacramento Bee. So it starts out, this prestigious home of two elite film producers has landed on the California real estate market on a scenic Malibu hillside. And then it goes on, even if you haven't heard the names, Kennedy Marshall, you know their work attached to their names. Kennedy is not only the president of Lucasfilm, not anymore, but she's also produced and executive produced a high number of high-grossing films: Jurassic Park, Sixth Sense, War of the Worlds, and so many of the latest Star Wars movies and TV shows. Some she had creative control, they failed. Some she didn't, and they succeeded. There you go. So why would they be doing this? Assume that she is being fired or she's resigning. I told you guys after the earnings call that announcements concerning certain issues at Disney would probably be made. And the big one, I think, for everybody in Hollywood is Kathleen Kennedy. Now, Cameron was told by a Hollywood reporter, journalist, that Kennedy was in the hot seat. All right. Kennedy is in trouble. And it just makes sense to me that if she's resigning, because look, I think a resignation is probably coming. And yours truly did mention to Frank on Twitter that it was time for his wife to let Lucasfilm go. And I don't know, maybe he just decided to talk to her about it or whatever. I don't know. But there's that, okay? This is a big deal. This is a BFD. Okay, we've got so much going on with Lucasfilm and Kennedy swirling around. No announcements. I got lucky with Mr. Fox through Lord Toranaga, but Sparrow has been quiet for reasons. We want him to keep his job. And it's just, if you notice that Pablo has been snarky, and he's been snarky for a few weeks now. And that snark showed from his beatdown of Pro, and there are changes at Lucasfilm coming. Now, with the sale of the beach house, I know I'm going to have people saying, well, you can't say she's leaving because she's Kathleen Kennedy. Well, my reply to them, the Tom Quixotes, is the Empress has no clothes. Okay, you cannot make 3 movies in a row that have been horrible and keep your job, even if you do have a thing in your contract that you can't be fired for cause. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So I believe that this is a signal that she's resigning, because if they couldn't remove her, then she's resigning.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Now, let's say she's not resigning. Let's say they actually did use the smoking gun to get Leslie Headland to throw Kennedy under the bus. Then she's being fired without cause. And look, I mean, if she's leaving that part of California, it's not because she wants to. It's because she's basically Iger, through Spielberg, took a social hit out on her. Okay? Again, why?
There are 3 indispensable people without whom none of us would be here tonight. And that starts with the person who created Indiana Jones, George Lucas. The person who is Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. And the person who is the glue to all 5 of these films that gave us all of our rhythm and all of our melody, the great maestro, John Williams.
I think people in the fandom, the Black Pills and the Black Pill Blobs, didn't understand the significance of this moment in Hollywood history. This was a social hit being carried out in force in front of everybody in the film industry in California. All right. Iger did it again to her on the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival, where he basically made sure that the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel was being closed and that Willow, the TV show, was being, shut down or taken off of Disney Plus. So this is that was the way it's done, and it was predictable, okay? You look at nuance, you look at what people are saying, then you look at their actions. When Steven Spielberg ignores both her and Frank, and they were with Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones from the very beginning, that's significant. That is an action that he takes when he chooses not to mention them. He could have said 5 people, and he said 3. Harrison Ford, George Lucas, and John Williams, with Kennedy standing there, with Bob Iger out in the audience or in the wings, probably trying to stop laughing. Okay. I almost felt sorry for her in this instant. But looking at how she treated George, how she wouldn't fight for him, how she allowed Lucasfilm to turn into a den of slack. I mean, Pablo Hidalgo, why is that guy that's still there? Okay, why? He should have been fired in 2018. And what I mean by den of slack is immature behavior, poor leadership she showed, ignoring bad behavior and allowing it to happen. Okay, that is the problem that Kathleen Kennedy created, because she's not a professional studio head. She's a fix-it girl. She's a glorified step-and-fetch-it. Okay, now she might actually be a talented producer if she's working for someone who actually is talented. But as far as the one, shepherding ideas through a process, she isn't. I've read fan fictions that are better than any of the movies that she made. And I include Rogue One in that, and that's the only one I own that I can tolerate. The rest suck. Okay, Indiana Jones 5. It could have been better, but she deserved the failure. And what she should be guilty of, or feel guilty about and ashamed about, is her hubris ruined that movie. Okay, so I want you guys to hear it from me. She is selling her house. They're selling their house. And this is a get out of Dodge moment. I think the end is nigh. And I'm actually looking forward to an announcement soon. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.